Hey everybody, welcome to another product review, and today we're going to take a look at the ignition products made by the folks at Fast, or Fuel Air Spark Technology, down in Memphis, Tennessee. So I ordered in a bunch of samples, they arrived, and I want to show you the spark boxes, distributors, coils, wires, all the basic categories of their ignition system that they put together. So let's jump right in, we'll take a look. So before we get started, what I like about Fast is, other than a couple of part numbers that they make, everything is made right here in the USA. I'll say that again because when it comes to ignition, that really is kind of a rarity these days. Everything they make, other than a couple of numbers, is made right here in the US. While all of the other top ignition brands out there are moving everything offshore to reduce cost and be more profitable in it as retail prices come skyrocketing down, Fast has kept the line made right here in the U.S. Now, that means something to me, and it always will, and I'll always support a manufacturer that keeps Americans working to engineer, test, and produce products right here in the U.S. I trust them. I trust electronics way more that are made here in the U.S. than anywhere else in the world. So for sure, I'm very supportive of a brand that continues to do that. And in this day and age, when everybody else is racing offshore, Fast has kept this stuff right here in the U.S. If that means something to you like it means something to me, hey, this is your product. So if you haven't seen the unboxing video I did on my Fast XFI 2.0, I'll place that link above so you can check that out as well. Same type of product from them, all made here in the U.S., all the components assembled right in Memphis, Tennessee. Really, really cool product. So for sure, this is a big point for me, and I want it to be for everybody because, hey, made in the USA should mean something. But let's talk about a few of the ignition products they produce, and I'll show you each one individually here. So first off, let's take a look at the spark boxes, really the heart of the ignition system, controlling the timing and the spark energy going down into the cylinders. They have some of the more advanced boxes have some other functions that you can use, some tunability to it with RPM and rev limits, boost control, nitrous control. Some of the more advanced boxes can do that, but first off is this basic E6 box. Now, this is more of a street type box for the muscle car or the street car cruiser hot rod type of guy. These basic boxes can be had with either a single stage rev limiter or without one. So really simple box, really easy to hook up and hook up to a distributor and a good coil, and really does all the basic things you need. There's a more advanced E6 box that has a dual stage rev limiter for like a track car. So if you have a tranny brake and you want to put a rev limiter on that, and then also have another rev limiter for top end to limit your top end or high side RPM for the big end of the track, it's got that as well. So very cool, all digital. There's a little dials on the side. You can adjust where you want that RPM to come in on the box with the multiple or dual stage rev limiters. They've got the two dials on there so you can dial it in. Very simple, very cool, very nice for a good street car. So next up is their E7 box. Now the E7 is a fully programmable, you can program with a laptop type of box where you can control the spark, the timing. This one you can control nitrous retard, boost. This one's for the high compression, race engines or high RPM engines. This is the box that you want. This is a very, very very, very cool, very, very intuitive box for a racing type of condition. Another cool thing, little feature with this box is it's got a hot start timing retard. So if you're been at the track or been driving, you shut the vehicle off, get back in it, 5, 10, whatever minutes later, and the engine is still hot, it will retard the timing to make it a little bit easier to fire up on those high compression engines where they need a lot of cranking speed to get things going. So retarding the timing kind of helps get that moving along, get things started so it can get back running again. Nice little feature. Both of these boxes, the E6 and the E7, are both urethane filled. So some of the other boxes that are on the market that are an analog type box, some of them aren't filled with urethane filling that's inside of them. They're just kind of open and exposed. The urethane kind of helps with heat and it helps with vibration. So all of the fast boxes, the E6s and the E7s, are fully urethane filled, or what they call fully potted, meaning they're fully urethane. So like I said, long-term durability really helps these things kind of survive some of the abuse that you put them through, especially on more aggressive types of applications like a boat, where you're kind of bouncing across the water, dirt track cars where they are in a very harsh environment where they're a direct drive from the engine to the axle. Those things take a lot of abuse, and fully potted ignitions are the only way to go, or you'll rattle everything out of it and destroy them. So the other interesting thing and good thing about both these boxes are they're fully compatible with the Fast line of distributors. They're all plug and play, nice weather pack connectors. Everything's very simple. There's not a lot of wires coming out of these boxes, and very, very easy to hook up. So let's take a look at their distributors. So Fast has quite a few different types of distributors. I've got the standard drop-in HEI type unit that everybody has. They've got small cap distributors for the street applications. What I ordered and what they sent me was their dual sync billet distributor. Now, very, very cool, very, very trick. It's a fully CNC'd machined housing out of, I think that's 6160 T6 billet aluminum that they use. So very, very durable, holds bearings very well, and very, very solid. Plug and play. So like I mentioned before, these are plug and play with their spark boxes and wires and everything else, but they're also compatible with their easy EFI systems, that XFI Sportsman and the XFI 2.0 that I'm running in the El Camino, all compatible with it. So also it's compatible with their fully sequential EFI systems when it's used with that XFI 2.0. So kind of a cool deal. All just kind of really plug and play. It's their whole system, so it should all plug and work together. They use a very nice extreme duty flexible wire, which some of the offshore distributors don't use. So that just helps make things a little bit more durable, increase strength, so the moving around of the wires doesn't break things down internally or externally. So that flexible style wire is very, very good to have in a distributor, and these have it. The sensors inside this distributor is kind of different. They spent a lot of time making sure of a couple of things, that the circuits are protected, so there's not a lot of that noise and feedback that you get that can throw the timing off if there's a false signal that can be sent through that distributor. Doesn't happen very often, but when you get into a high compression or a high boost or a nitrous type situation where there's a lot going on in there, you've got to have those circuits very, very protected and isolated from each other, and the sensors inside, so they can pick up the trigger and get the fire down into the cylinder that it's got to go to without anything crazy going on. Certainly don't want that to happen, especially on a higher compression engine, or you're throwing a ton of boost at it. Knock or bad spark or timing events tend to destroy things pretty quickly. So it's nice to see that they really beefed this up and gave those sensors that extra protection that it needed. So very nice design, very, very thick, heavy plate sleeve to help just increase that accuracy, reliability, and really, I guess, durability, and making sure you get spark and timing all at the right time. So love this dual sync distributor. This one's for a small block, big block Chevy. They make them for just about everything else out there, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Ford, whatever. So certainly if you're looking for a distributor, this is the one that I would use, probably with the E7 box. And if I was going to go with a typical big block, small block application, I'd run this one, that E7 box, because I do like the added features in it, especially with the nitrous retard. I tend to like big blocks with a big shot of nitrous. They're a lot of fun to drive for sure. So this is the distributor. So we'll take a look at coils and wires next. So just like distributors, Fast has a lot of different coils as well to match up the system that you're working with. So they've got the regular canister style oil filled coils that are quite popular with the older, Gen 1, small block, big block guys, 60s eras muscle car that kind of want that look from that era. And they also have this nice E92 E-core ignition coil. Now, one thing I didn't mention is Fast didn't just all of a sudden one day decide, hey, let's make ignition and try to make it really cool and work. When Comp Cam bought Crane, they also bought their ignition program, and they rolled the Crane name over into the Fast name, which is what you see here. All of the Crane ignition system stuff is very well respected, very, very admired and sought after. For the dirt track guys, use the heck out of them. Back in the day, a lot of the drag racers were using it that weren't class restricted, where you were forced into a crappy analog box. Here's a picture of my 67 Chevelle when I was tearing it down. I had the Crane ignition system in there with their coil, their box, and distributor, and it really was kind of a nice little flawless system. No propensity to kind of burn itself out with bad grounds and all that. The Crane guys did a really, really good job putting together a very, very good product, and it all rolled into the Fast name when Comp bought it and really kind of elevated it, took it to the next level. So coils, same thing. They were branded under the Crane name. Now they're under the Fast name. So I wanted to make mention of that before we get too far. So with the regular coils and everything else they also have a good LS coil as well. Now these are the round Delco style truck coil for like the 99-07 4.8 5 liter 6 liter light duty truck coil. So very nicely put together. These will go on my LS as well. Kind of looking forward to using these, but hey, the spark energy in these looks pretty good and very aggressive, so it should be a nice little addition to the ignition system in the XFI 2.0 box that I'm using as well. So another little cool upgrade for the El Camino. Anyway, that's coils. Let's take a look at wires next. So plug wire sets. Fast has a full line of spark plug wires. I always really enjoyed using the universal fit type stuff because I tend to like to route the wires a little bit differently maybe, and sometimes when you do a custom fit type stuff that's specific for like a small block or a big block, or an LS, they don't really take into consideration sometimes headers or, angled plugs or whatever. So sometimes I've always just had better luck with universal type fit and just kind of putting the ends on together. But Comp's got both, Fast has both. These are the LS wires that I ordered for my El Camino. Very, very nice. They're just a regular standard, coil to plug. So they're fairly short. They're based off the truck wire. So I think they're probably just about the standard length on them. I haven't really compared them to see if they're any shorter or longer than the factory ones, but very well put together, very nicely done. The Firewire stuff with the sleeves on it is kind of a nice little cool deal. Now, the sleeves are very, very nice for reducing a lot of header heat and, in my case, turbocharger heat and everything else that happens that gets hot internally. So very, very nice that those boots and those Firewire sleeves on there is just another nice little additional protection for the spark plug wire. So really nice, cool product. I really like these wires a lot. I've never used them before, and I'm certainly looking forward to using these on the LS. And quite honestly, if they work well there, which I don't have any issue with them, having any issue with it. But I think they're going to work out fine, and I found myself a new set of wires to use. So very, very cool. Same thing as everything else. There's less than 25 ohms per foot of resistance in it, so you get that maximum energy going down there to fire those spark plugs. They're also very, very good at filtering out the noise. So if you got a good stereo system, or all the other stuff that interferes with all the other electronics in there. Certainly, I've got the XFI unit in there. I've got the GPS TAC or excuse me, not TAC, but the GPS mile per hour gauge in their speedo, so that could interfere with it. And the wires are just made to keep that electromagnetic interference down and the RFI frequency down. So very, very cool, very, very well put together. Looking forward to using these as well. So those are the fast ignition products that I ordered and what I really wanted to show you today. So I hope you got something out of it. I hope you thought some of that stuff was cool. I hope you give it a try. If you do, or if you've used the fast product before, or if you've used the old school crane ignition before, tell me about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. I've had really good luck with this over the years, and really looking forward to the next generation here of ignition products coming out of fast. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Like the video if you thought it was cool. Hit the notification bell, and if you got any questions at all, don't hesitate, drop them below. If you want to talk to the guys at Fast, I think they're there 6 days a week. They're there on Saturdays also. So if you got any tech questions at all, don't hesitate. I talk to those guys all the time on that tech line. They're very, very knowledgeable, very, very good at helping you work out problems and look for solutions. So anyway, we'll talk to you later. Hope you liked it, and we'll be back with another product review pretty soon. Thanks, guys.